Hi, everyone. How are you? Hopefully, you can hear me. Yes. All right. So I decided to come on live. I don't do this very often. I would like probably should do more. Try to do more regularly. Live colorings. They're fun live videos for anyone who may be around. And excuse me. So I just want to start off by explaining uh, what I'm coloring here just for a moment. Back in 2018, I started my tarot channel. I have a Daily Empress tarot channel, and I immediately got tons of requests to read about Harry and Meghan. They had just gotten married. So I started doing reading after reading after reading, and then Harry and Meghan turned out to be this huge news story, scandal every month, something going on. So month by month, year by year, I found that I was following them because there was such a appetite for them. And things to be slowing down a little bit now. It's getting quieter. People are losing interest, but there are more scandals to come out to be exposed. But in the meantime, since I had been following them for so long and I knew the stories, and I knew all the lies that Meghan Markle was telling along with Prince Harry, they're both liars. And they kept getting away with it because the mainstream media wouldn't expose them for their obvious lies. So what I ended up doing, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I like adult coloring. I have my coloring channel as well, and I was like, I'm just going to make a coloring book, and I'm going to put in all the stories that the mainstream media refuses to touch. So this is my first coloring book right here, and I also have a second coloring book I came out with. These are all true stories. And Meghan Markle is very litigious. She's known for taking people to court. She doesn't like if they publish a letter or something. So these are true stories because they've been out for years and never been sued. It's all based on coverage from the mainstream media, by the way. I'm not making up anything at all. It's all true. So I just wanted to say that. And there's both on sale on Amazon. I put the links below. And on top of that, because I followed them so long, I even made a tarot deck. My Harry and Meghan tarot deck. You can also put a link below. I mean, I followed them for so long. I didn't intend, to make all this stuff, but it was just they've been going on. They've been in the news. They've been these, celebutards for so long, and they continue to be in the mainstream media, and getting coverage and doing this and that. It's just like you want to do something. But anyways, this is mainly to get stories out. So this video today, this coloring video I'm making, is inspired by a recent podcast interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but there's clips I saw on Twitter. And this particular clip where Meghan Markle tells people to tell the truth. And of course, she's like mocking people because she lies all the time. But anyways, and I'll show you in these books some of the lies that she's told that I covered in here. But first, here's the clip from the podcast.
In the best way, because I wonder if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch. Is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
Yeah, so right there, she says, I ask people to tell the truth. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell the truth. I got some truths right here. So I was having trouble deciding. I'm like, I want to color in one of her lies here. And from this book, this is the first Markle debacle coloring book. Right. These are from earlier stories from the first few years, because I published these books a couple of years ago now. But it's covering a lot of the events early on, because I started following them in 2018 when they got married. So this story is from, you can verify all of this in the media and in the news, October 2018. So in October 2018, that was when Meghan and Harry went on a tour to Australia, their one and only official royal tour there. Or their first one, anyways. They had one more, I think, in South Africa. It's also scandalous. But anyways, so this was their first tour in Australia. And she was a guest of honor at the University of the South Pacific. And in her speech, she claimed that she paid for her education through scholarships, financial aid, and working at a job on campus. But her sister and father came out and said that's a lie and that her father paid for all of her schooling and university. So it appears that she actually got on stage, spoke to all these students, and lied and said, paid my own way through college. I paid for everything. Didn't credit the fact that her father paid. So that's one lie from that book, considered coloring. Then in the second book, again, these are all true stories. Let me start with this one. Then there was this picture. This was another big scandalous lie on her second tour in South Africa. And you can see she's sitting there. And this is a thought bubble and is a kid with a fire. So she was on a podcast show, on her podcast show. So her first podcast show was called Archetypes. And she lied about a fire in Archie's nursery. Archie's her son, for her son there. When she visited South Africa in 2019, Meghan claimed that she stayed in a housing unit when in fact she stayed in a 9-bedroom mansion belonging to the British High Commissioner. This sparked another controversy in South Africa, and Vote-sec Meghan trended on Twitter. Vote-sec is an offensive South African expression meaning get lost or go away. So on her, I believe it was her first podcast show, on her podcast there, this is a picture of her, what she looked like, actual, when she was sitting there doing her podcast. There's a little newspaper on there that says Palace says never happened, because the Buckingham Palace said it never happened. And she actually claimed that there was a fire in her baby's room when she was in South Africa, but that never happened. It turned out, I think, that there may have been some malfunctioning hair dryer or fan, and there was some smoke that was immediately cleared up. But no, there was never any fire in her child's room. So she lied about that for attention. So that was the second lie. Now this is the lie I'm going to color today, because I want to do a portrait. I want to do a face. This is like one of the larger faces that I have in the coloring book. This is when Meghan Markle lied to a judge in court in the UK and had to apologize. So she went to court over the book the first book written by Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand. It's a book full of lies called Finding Freedom that many think Meghan wrote. And Meghan claimed that she didn't help Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand write the book. She said, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't help. But that turned out to be a lie that was exposed by the, I forget his title, press secretary or somebody on her team at Buckingham Palace came forward, Jason Knauf, or Jason Nauf, it's Knauf, his last name. He came forward and said, no, there were emails sent back and forth through me. So what Meghan did was she emailed Jason Knauf, communications advisor, and he forwarded the email to Omid Scobie. And Meghan told Jason Knauf what to tell Omid Scobie and all that. So there was definitely connections there. So Meghan was communicating with Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand. Not directly, but indirectly, but she was telling them what to say in the book and all. So yeah, so she got caught lying. That was exposed in court, and Meghan had to apologize, and she claimed that she forgot. She said, oh, that's right, I did communicate with them. I just forgot. And yeah, so that was that. So there you have it. So this is the picture. I'm going to start coloring her face here using polychromos pencils. Again, this is from my second book here. Yeah, all these stories are true. So if you haven't been following the Harry and Meghan saga and want to know some of the stories that the mainstream media refuses to expose, you will find some of them in my coloring book, and you have a coloring page to color if you wish. So I got this picture from her, all the drawings. I basically I made up the backgrounds, but I tried to take from actual photos, her, to capture her face, because as you can see, she has an unusual nose and unusual face, basically. So, but I try to capture as closely as possible. So that's from where I'm using the shading and whatnot for this coloring page. That is the picture I'll be using. All right. Hi, Tiger Eye. How are you? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it. Glad you're here. Yeah. The African lie broke your heart. That was damaging to so many. Yeah, it's lies are always so damaging, and Meghan just doesn't seem to care who she lies about. And then she goes on a podcast and tells people tell the truth. It's like, okay, that's what she Meghan wants us to tell the truth. That's why I'm telling you all this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start doing some color in here. I'm gonna be using, let's see, I'm gonna start with again, I'm using polychromos, and I'm gonna start with my brown pencil, a nougat pencil. It's a nougat, nugget, however you say it. If I can find it, where is it? Oh, this is it right here. Is it? Yeah, this is it. Nougat 178. So we're just gonna start here with this one. And give me 1 second. I get my screen set up here so I can see things. All right. Guys, I'm just going to start shading underneath. She has a lot of shading under the hat here. So I'm putting this brown nougat without where all the shading is on her face here. So yeah, things seem to be quieting down a bit, I think, with Harry and Meghan. I think people are losing interest in them, finally. I don't know. I think many people have, there's been a lot of brouhahas around stuff she's put out recently, but I think that, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're finally, just being ignored for the most part? There's still too many things to come out, though. I mean, there's still people wanting the truth to come out on so for so many reasons. All right, let's see here. So it's a little bit right here. Let's make it a little darker up here. Then I take the black pencil and put in the areas that are really dark around her eyes. Don't want to go in too soon, but then I'll go back to the nougat and use that for eye color. And then just a little bit under the nose. I'll do the other lashes later. I'm going to be doing this first. Just putting in some of the darker areas. This is going to be for eyebrows as well. Okay, so after nougat, I'm going to use, I think, the green. I'm going to start going into the greens now. So I'm just going over the browns. Oh, this is May Green 170. So hopefully this turns out as I expect. I don't know what will how this will turn out in the end. Never know. That's the funny thing about doing coloring pages. You just never know. Sometimes everything works out just as you planned, and other times disaster. You never know. Something goes wrong. Okay, and then I'm going to use a light green 171, and I'm going over the lighter areas with the light green. Just using light layers in the beginning. So I have a lot of layers to add to this. Maybe not that many, maybe like 4 or 5. Okay. Hmm. Now I think I'll go with. I've got the put mortem 169. And it's like another kind of brownish reddish color. And I'm going over the more shaded areas with this. She has a very unique nose shape. I mean, I think she's probably had quite a few nose jobs in her life. She is an actress. So it's a very distinct feature on her. Now, if you see her profile, you know that's her. Oh, I'm sorry, Tiger. I wasn't paying attention. You said I wish. I don't know what you're referring to. All right, now I'm going to Venetian Red. That's 190, 190. And let me sharpen a little bit real quick. So she's looking very greeny right now, but that's going to change soon. In a moment here. So I put the Venetian Red on there. It will neutralize a lot of that green. You'll start seeing her become more human looking. I'm just doing a quick job here. Like I'm not. I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible, but not knocking myself out here with that. And go back to the May green for a second just to get the front of the lips here and the bottom lip, the top lip. I mean. So go over that, the Venetian red. Like that. All right. Let's see how that's looking. Well, she's looking a little bit more human, but I think she needs more pink. So I'm going to go to the Rose Carmine 124. And I'll pink her up a little bit more here. Going back, I missed a spot here with the shading here, so I'm just gonna fix that. Little touch up there. Okay, so I'm back to the Rose Carmine here. So this picture is just a depiction of her in the courtroom in front of the judge when she had to apologize. For sure. A moment that she's never spoken about. You never hear Harry and Meghan talk about their, when they're caught lying. They just ignore it. They just ignore people that have full control over the media. Like the media can never ask them anything that they don't approve of. And so they've never been like in an interview or something. They've never been confronted about all their lies they've told and been caught in, including in court. So it's really surprising that they've gotten away with so much, uh, even though they're in the public eye a lot. Now I'm back to May Green. I'm just going to darken this up just a little bit more under here. But it is really surprising that a couple that could be in the media every day, doing this, doing that, complaining, collecting awards, and they're never held accountable for all the lies they tell, about people and whatnot, about themselves. And they expect you to believe their lies. It's a very Orwellian thing. It kind of goes along with in my opinion, they're globalist friends. They're friends with Bill Gates and they're friends with um, very evil people, Obama and all that, Hillary Clinton. So, not nice people, not good people in my book. All right, so I'm just going to go back over the eyebrow here, make it a little darker. So I think her skin's looking more human now, right? Oh, I still got a little more work to do on that. She's got crazy looking eyebrows in this picture. And loads of makeup, black makeup. Oh, there's tons of black eyeliner. I'm gonna start putting some of the eyeliner in here. Like that. Yeah, I think I need a little bit more. I'm gonna go back to the kaput. Is this it? The kaput mortem 169. It's gonna go a little bit more. Darken this up a little bit more now around the nose. Any shading in the face. Yeah, I even have a turquoise, helio turquoise 155, just to make it even. Some areas just need to be a little bit darker shading there. I think this will help do it. Okay. Let's see. Some some more green, the May green, and I'm using Venetian red on top of that. Still trying to just get a little bit more shading here correctly. And I'm just going to go over it again all over because I'm going to, in the end, I'm going to go over it with a white Prismacolor to blend it. So that's going to lighten it up a bit. So I'm going to, so I want this to be a little bit darker than the actual, tone of the picture. I know it's going to be slightly lightened. Although her skin is very light anyways, but as you can see in the picture, so, but yeah, it's looking good. All right, so I think I'm pretty much done there. Now I've got the white Prismacolor, and I'm just gonna smooth this over and see how this looks. And I smooth that around, blending it together. Yeah, blends very nicely. The Prismacolor pencil with the polychromos, even though they're two different types of pencils, as we know, they still work well together. And the Prisma does blend it, the polychromos well. So if you're wondering about that, I need a little bit more Venetian red here. It looks a little too green. Anywhere it's too green, I'm just sort of making sure to put some red on top of it. So neutralize that. Oops. One more right here. Okay. As that smooths it. That smooths it all out very nicely, very smoothly. It's there. I don't know if we can. Um, oh, wrong picture. I can zoom in a little bit. I don't have zoom ability here, but I can. make the image a little bigger. So yeah, so this turned out as expected. It was not a disaster. There you go. So I wanted to do today. I just wanted to do a face. Yeah, add a little more pink to the lip here, though. A little more there. Down there. A little darker here with the Venetian red, and maybe some of the green to make the darker areas here. Oh, and one last thing, her eye, inside the eyes. Add that in a little bit. Yeah, so there's pretty much her face. I go in a moment. Her eyes are a bit darker than this. It makes her eyes look light. They're very dark, actually, dark brown. So I go with the black. That looks more accurate. Yeah. Some eyelashes in. There we go. One more. Darken these brows one more time with the black. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty accurate for her face there. All right, yeah. So I'm satisfied with the face. I think pretty much covered it. So now for the rest of the picture. Now for the rest of the picture, just to um, speeding things up, I think I'm going to switch to my um, acrylic markers. I haven't been using my acrylic markers much. And I want to use them more often. So I'm going for her hat and her hair. I think I will just use because I could take a long time getting the hair to look realistic, but maybe I can still do it. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but for the rest of the picture and her hat and everything, I'm going to looking for I gotta get a piece of scrap paper to put under this just in case. So, or else I can use the other book. Let me see. I've got my other coloring book here. Maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, that will do. That'll work. Okay. So to do her hair and hat, I think I'm just gonna use my acrylic paint pens, and there we go. I've got the TBC, and I think I'm gonna start with a light blue. So I think 506. Okay, so give me moment here. I get my a whole slew of blues I could use. So 506 is gonna be here. And of course, it's not. Where is that? It should be there. They're out of order. I probably didn't put them back right. My goodness, where are you? 506. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just couldn't see it. I couldn't read it. The little tiny writing. I overlooked it. All right, so this is gonna be for the hats. That she's wearing a blue hat in this picture. So the highlights of it are blue. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm thinking in like watercolor style where you put the light before the dark, but this is acrylic paint pens. You put the dark before the light. So I'm just gonna start with the dark color. 305. Let me see, 305. See, these acrylic, whether you're using color pencil or watercolor, you're usually using the lighter first and then go over the areas dark. Except acrylic paint pens, flip things around. I use these more. So what color am I looking for? 305. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. 305. This is going to be the hat. I'm going to go right over that. It's going to be lighter up there. Actually, I get the light color out. I make this band in the middle a lighter color. I'm actually going a lot lighter up here. Okay. Okay, and then just the top of the hat. There's so much room here. I know a lot of colorists use the Ohuhu markers. They're just so expensive to me. I refuse to buy them. It's like $200, $300 to get a big set. I mean, I'm sure it does help speed things along because people usually just color with color pencil on top of it. You can use color pencil on top of acrylic markers too. And these dry very quickly as well, acrylic markers. You can put acrylic markers on anything. They will cover anything. There we go. So the hat's so far now. If I take the white pencil here, it's sort of lighter on top, so you can use some color pencil on top of it to lighten it out, certain areas, highlights and whatnot. Um, I should. Let's leave it like it is. I can use the black pencil, sort of shade the areas, the front and the back, if I want. Could also use a marker too if I wanted to, but yeah, you can go over the acrylic markers with pencil as well. A little bit lighten or a little bit darken it. All right, and now for the hair. What to do with her hair? Should I do marker with the hair? Yeah, I think we should do marker. Well, I was like a new. Let me do color pencil. Won't take that long. Let me just put this back. There we go. I think I'll just do one last thing. I'll do the hair. I'm going to go back to the nougat color that I used on the face. And that will be the highlight for the hair. Oh, sorry, Tiger's Eye. I wasn't watching the chat. What are you saying here? Oh, you're welcome for the lesson. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you showed up. Not a troll. We've gotten some trolls on this art site. I think they came over from the other channel. I'm like, why is anybody trolling an art channel? Like, really? You have nothing. It's like a very small, tiny art channel, and I've got trolls already. I'm like, how does that happen? They'll bother one of the big channels. Yeah, they don't bother the big channels because they know the bigger channels couldn't care less. They've been through the ringer already with these trolls. Okay, so that's just for the highlight there. I'm gonna go back to the black. I was gonna keep it simple with the hair. Normally, I'd use like some dark browns and whatnot to make it, look realistic. But I'm not gonna bother with this with her picture. I'm just gonna use a couple different colors and make it look, realistic enough. Yeah, so coloring books are great practice for when you want to do your own artwork, which of course I do as well. Original artwork. So I mean, it's fun. It's just fun and relaxing, and art is to enjoy yourself. A lot of you'd be surprised, right, or not, how many professional artists, people went to art school and whatnot, like Emma's illustrations. She's an artist, professional artist, and she went to art school and she loves coloring. She has a coloring channel, and she has a lot of great tips there and lessons there as well. So many wonderful artists have coloring channels, and they share their tips and tricks and tools of the trade. So it's great. It's a secret treasure of the coloring channels are a hidden treasure of excellent art tips and advice, I think. Yeah, let's see here. So I want to be. I've got so far. I use some. A little darker under the hat here. And nobody got a single recording. You know what I find if it's surprising is here Meghan Markle was in a court of law in the UK, a public space, right? That where there were reporters, there's always reporters in the background, and she had to apologize to the judge. And has anyone heard the recording of that? Has anyone heard or seen a recording? Is maybe we need to get that? Is it anywhere online? But I find it surprising that she had to apologize to the judge in a public space. Or it may have been, I think it was during the COVID psyop, so maybe it was on a Zoom call or something, possibly. And that's maybe why we haven't seen it. But it seems to me that if she had to apologize in the public to, like, somebody would have gotten a video or audio of that, right? I mean, anyone else famous who lies to now how should I want to blend this a little bit. I don't want to use what do I want to blend this with? I've got to use I can use a blender pencil or some. Now this paper is thin, so I mean still I could use some blending liquid if I chose. Let me see what I want to do with this. Let me see. I've got some Gamsol somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I had it a moment ago. Wow. Let's try this. I got a little glass. I've got this Metz stuff, Holbein colored pencil blender with a blending liquid. Let's clean that out. Let's go pour a little bit in there. Grab a brush. Yeah, one of those disposable brushes here. I'm just going to go over the hair here. Now the paper is going to be wet for a while, but yeah, it works really well with the polychromos and Prismacolor. Well, it doesn't take much to blend Prismacolor. Prismacolor just melts with just about everything. It's a great pencil. We're good. All right, so now we've got the black hair there. Black extensions. And let's let that dry a little bit. So now it's all wet. So I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. Try using it again. And I think I may just pull out the acrylic pens again for her dress. Do that. Go back to 506, the same color that I used on a light part of her hat. And I will use that for her dress. Let's color that. The acrylic pen just blends so nicely. You know, you don't have any of those streaks. I used to have, and I still have somewhere, that the Crayola markers was the only markers I ever had. They leave streaks and lines, pain in the butt. But the acrylic ones work really well. Do the job. Do the work. Yeah, so I pretty much have Meghan Markle done here. There she is, the evil Meghan Markle. So I still have the whole background to do, but I don't know if you want to sit around doing the whole background there. That's why I really wanted to get her portrait done there. Yeah, so there you have it. Didn't take too long at all. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Tiger Eye, for your comments. Great seeing you. All right, so until next time, hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Yeah, take care. Have a good night, Tiger Eye. Bye-bye.